Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yesterday we have discussed
Good afternoon, sir.
molality, mole fraction is over. I mean mass percentage also. After that we have discussed limiting reagent, and I have given one question also.
Hello, sir.
So what is the definition from that? What is the limiting reagent? The reactant which is completely consumed in
Sir, you're not audible. Sir, you're not audible.
Where did sir go?
Network problem. Hello, sir.
Yes, one second. See yesterday's question, once read the question. What is that? How much they given sulfur and magnesium? Read the question, yesterday's question, limiting reagent question.
1.2 gram of Mg is burnt in.
Yes, 1.2 grams of Mg is burned in 1.4 grams of sulfur.
Sir, did you teach anything before? Because I had some network issue. I joined.
No, Nitin. Here also some network issues there. No, not in. We didn't
Yes,
start
sir.
anything. So here, 1.2 grams of Mg magnesium is burned in 1.4 grams of sulfur to form magnesium sulfide. Yes, Mg plus S is gives rise MgS, magnesium sulfide. Magnesium sulfide, okay, which is the limiting reagent. They're asking what is the limiting reagent, which is limiting reagent. Calculate the amount of the reactant which remains unreacted. Okay, see here. So this is the given question. 1.2 grams of Mg, 1.4 grams is sulfur. Both are combined together to form magnesium sulfide. So here, Mg how many moles? 1 mole of Mg. 1 mole of Mg. Sulfur how many moles? 1 mole of sulfur. Listen carefully, all of you. 1 mole of Mg is combined with 1 mole of sulfur to form MgS, magnesium sulfide. 1 mole is magnesium. How much molar mass? Mg.
24.
24 grams. And sulfur?
32 grams.
32 grams. So 1 mole of Mg and 1 mole of sulfur. So 1 mole is here, I'm taking 24 grams. 1 mole of sulfur is 32 grams. So therefore, number of moles of magnesium, is equals to given how much? 1.2. So 1.2 by 24. Why? Number of moles, weight by gram molecular weight.
Gram molecular weight.
So 0.05. This is for Mg. Next, number of moles.
It should be 24 plus 32, no, sir.
What is that? 24 plus 32.
Yes, sir, because total MgS, no, sir.
That is fine. Here, number of moles you have to find out. See, 1 Mg, 1 S is there. 1 magnesium, 1 sulfur.
No, sir, it is MgS, no, sir. So we have to add 32, no, also, no, sir.
No, see here. So what you are asking? You want to add 32 plus 24.
Like in denominator to find.
Why? See, we are having one formula, Yadu Prakash. Number of moles small n is equals to weight by gram molecular weight. We are having formula, right? From that formula, you have to find out number of moles. So here I'm finding n value. Number of moles of Mg, number of moles of sulfur. This is what you are asking, that is molar mass. Just 24 grams of Mg, 32 grams of sulfur. That is from atomic mass. Atomic mass. So here separately I'm finding number of moles of Mg is weight by gram molecular weight 1.2 by 24, which is 0.05. When it comes to sulfur, how much you will get? 1.4 by 32. How much you will get? 0.0. 1.4 by 32. How much you will get? 0.045.
0.0.
Yes, so number of moles of Mg is 0.05. Number of moles of sulfur is 0.045. Now here, number of moles of Mg is unreacted. Can you tell me? Number of moles of Mg unreacted, because in the question they are asking unreacted part also. So now tell me how to write 0.05 minus 0.045. So which is equals to 0.005. This is the number of moles of unreacted magnesium. The number of moles of unreacted magnesium is 0.05. So listen once again, ma. In the question they are given 1.2 grams of Mg is combined with 1.4 grams of sulfur to form magnesium sulfide. That is the question. So here we are finding here Mg 24 grams. Why? Because here molar mass I am taking. Mass. Sulfur atomic number is 16, mass number 32. So 1 mole is Mg, 1 mole is sulfur. So that 24 grams, 32 grams we have to assume. Okay. Now number of moles of magnesium is weight by gram molecular weight. Weight is 1.2 is given in the question itself. By gram molecular weight is 24. That is 0.05 you will get. And when it comes to here sulfur, same 1.4 by 3. What is the 32? We get 0.05. Now we are calculating the unreacted part of Mg. Number of moles of Mg unreacted. So 0.04 minus 0.045, which is 0.005. So now you can say finally, this is not completed. Still it is there. Now you can say here the number of, so mass of Mg unreacted, you have to find. Mass of Mg unreacted. Can you tell me how to find mass of Mg unreacted? How much you got, ma? Therefore, mass of magnesium, mass unreacted.
Sir, we found number of moles of magnesium unreacted is 0.005, isn't it, sir?
Number of moles of Mg unreacted, number of moles this is.
Yes, sir. So mass then.
Therefore, mass we are finding, mass of
That is
Mg
0.2,
unreacted,
isn't it, sir?
0.005 into 24. Enough.
Sir, why
Mass,
20?
no. Mass. How to find out? You have to take molar mass of Mg 24 only, now 24 into 0.005. You will get approximately 0.12 grams. 0.12 grams. So therefore, number of moles of sulfur is, tell me how much? Is less or more? Number of moles of sulfur is less only. So hence sulfur is, which is limiting reagent, ma?
Sulfur is limiting
Sulfur.
reagent.
Sulfur, sir.
Sulfur is limiting reagent. Listen once again. Once again, I will explain still if you have any doubt. Nothing is there. Number of moles, how to find out, you should know properly. This is the given data only, 1.2 grams or 1.4 grams. Neatly, you should find out N value, number of moles of Mg and number of moles of sulfur. After that, what is that? They are asking unreacted of Mg. So that 0.05 minus 0.045, you will get answer. If you see mass, how much mass? Then 24 mass number of Mg into 0.05, 0.12 grams. So anyway, this is less only. So the limiting reagent is, hence the limiting reagent is sulfur. The limiting reagent is sulfur. See, very
How
easy.
limiting reagent is sulfur, sir? It's not present in less
The
quantity.
number of moles of sulfur is less or more here?
Less.
Number of moles of sulfur is less or more?
Less.
That is what. So what is limiting reagent? The
Sulfur.
reactant which is lesser part is involved in the completely consumed in the chemical reaction to form the product. The limiting reagent definition itself, out of two reactants, one is less, the other one is excess. The lesser one which is involving the chemical reaction to form the product completely consumed. So that part we are finding here as the limiting reagent sulfur.
Sir, but magnesium is also 0.05, no, sir.
Magnesium also 0.05.
05.
Sulfur
0.045.
then compare these two, which is less, which is more.
Okay, sir. Sulfur.
That is what. There is no much difference. Right, Abhishek?
Okay, sir.
Now we'll see what is equivalent weight. Next we'll go for what is equivalent weight, Amma. Take it on this, all of you. What is equivalent weight? See here, generally equivalent weight is, before going to the normality, you should know equivalent weight amount. So equivalent weight general formula is equivalent weight is equals to molecular weight by equivalent weight is equals to molecular weight by n factor. Molecular weight by n factor. Molecular weight by n factor. So what is n factor? N factor in the sense molecular weight by n factor. This is the general formula of equivalent weight. For acids, we are having different formula. For bases, we are having different formula. So what is equivalent weight is molecular weight by n factor, or you can say formula weight by n factor also correct. Formula weight or molecular weight. Formula weight or molecular weight. Right. Now, for suppose you will get, sir, what is n factor? N factor means number of replaceable H plus ions or number of replaceable OH minus ions. If it is acid, if the given compound is acid, you have to see number of H plus ions. If the given compound is base like NaOH, CaOH, number of OH minus ions. So that is what you have to see as the n factor. Now I will give example also. For suppose equivalent weight of acid, how to find out? Equivalent weight of an acid. So equivalent weight of an acid is equals to formula weight or molecular weight. You can write sometimes in the books they given formula weight. Don't get confused. Formula weight by basicity of acid. Formula weight by basicity of acid. What is basicity of acid? You know, the number of replaceable H plus ions. Number of replaceable H plus ions. So immediately I will give an example, then you will get an idea. They are asking us write the equivalent weight of hydrochloric acid. Equivalent weight of hydrochloric acid, HCl. So then how to write? Tell me. Formula weight how much? Cl is 35 and hydrogen is 1. So 36.5. Molecular weight of HCl is 36.5 by basicity of acid means number of H plus ions how many? Only one hydrogen, right? So 1, which is equal to 36.5 is the equivalent weight of given acid. Next, calculate the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid.
36.5 is approximate value, no sir, not correct, no sir.
Which one? 36.5. Huh?
It is approximate value, no sir.
Approximate in the sense Cl how much? Molecular weight 35.5. Hydrogen is 1. 36.5 only na? Molecular weight of HCl.
Yes.
Yadu Prakash, what is the molecular weight of HCl?
Sir, 36.
That is what? 36.5 by number of H plus ions only 1. So basicity of acid is 1. Basicity of acid is 1. Now for sulfuric acid, tell me anybody. Sulfuric acid formula weight 98. Very good. See how to find out molecular weight. See H2. Yes. O4. See 2 hydrogens. Each hydrogen is 1. So 2 hydrogens. 1 sulfur is 32 and 4 oxygens. 4 into 16.
64.
4, 8, 9. So 98 is the molecular weight of or formula weight of sulfuric acid by tell me basicity of an acid means number of H plus ions.
2.
Sir.
So 98 by 2, 49. 49 is the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid. 49 is the equivalent weight of sulfuric acid.
That is 2 H plus can be replaced, sir.
I will once see here once. Sulfuric acid can dissociate 2 H plus ions plus SO4 2 minus ions. Correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
So that is why number of H planes we have to consider 2. 2. This is what. So this is we are doing for acids only for acid. Next you go for base also. So before that you should know what is the general formula of equivalent weight. Equivalent weight is equals to molecular weight by n factor. N factor means number of
Number.
replaceable H plus ions or OH minus ions. Yes.
Ions.
Take it on this. all
Sir,
of you?
any units are there for this? Sir?
No.
Sir, that how to derive that molecular mass, like how, sir?
Atomic number, Abhijit. See, hydrogen atomic number is
2.
1 only, na?
1, yes.
Here 2 hydrogens are there, so that 2.
2.
Sulfur atomic number is 16, atomic mass 32.
Okay, sir.
And oxygen, each
16.
oxygen atomic number is 8, atomic mass 16.
Yes, sir.
4 oxygens are there, 4 into 16, 64.
Okay, sir.
So overall 98 is the molecular weight of sulfuric acid. Is it clear, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Check on this, all of you. Most important, this concept again in the 12th you will get same concept, equivalent weight.
This is applicable only for like acid and bases, sir.
And salts also, for salts also, like ammonium chloride, ammonium bromide, like the salts we are having aluminum sulfate, inorganic salts. Even for
Okay.
salts and oxidizing agents, for reducing agents also, you can find. So this is for acid, no? Next we'll go for base also. I will give just one example. You can see here.
Sir,
Yes. Yes.
there is number of hydrogen atoms which can be replaced, sir.
Number of yes. Number of H plus ions is acid. Number of OH minus is base.
No, sir, like-
You know one thing. Lewis acid, Lewis base concept generally in the 10th also we are having. A substance which can donate easily proton itself acts as an acid. Correct? And as
Gains electron.
a substance which can donate easily proton H plus. So itself acts as a acid. That is why, like HCl, if you see HCl, one hydrogen easily can donate H plus. Sulfuric acid, 2 H plus ions, like that. So acids are always having H plus ions. Bases are having OH minus ions. Here only I will give example. See. Suppose I want to know equivalent weight of sodium hydroxide. Find out equivalent weight of sodium hydroxide.
This is like, even when it's OH, then number of elements that can replace OH, sir.
1 second. I think. Equivalent weight of yeah.
40, sir.
Once again ask.
Sir,
40, sir. 40
NaOH
is the answer.
NaOH is given, sir. Then
Ah.
is it like replacing OH?
See, don't get confused. Nothing is there, Nitin. How many OH groups are there? Enough.
One.
Enough. If it is acid, how many H plus are there? Check. Like that.
One, sir. One and
So NaOH is alkali base. So here how many OH groups are there, that we have to check. Generally NaOH can dissociate Na plus OH minus. So therefore, what is the formula I will tell you? Formula weight by or molecular weight. Formula weight by what is the here the denominator?
Acidity of bases.
acidity of base.
Excellent, very good. Acidity of base. I'm telling you, in the second year, in the second chapter itself, you will get all these concepts. So by that time, easily you will get formula weight by acidity of base. Acidity of base OH minus ions. Now find out formula weight of NaOH is 40. How 40? NaOH, sodium is 23, oxygen 16, hydrogen 1. So So 10, 2, 3, 4, 40. So molecular weight is 40 and the acidity of base means you have to check number of OH minus or how many, only one OH group is there. So 40 by 1 will get 40. So therefore 40 is the equivalent weight of sodium hydroxide. 40 is the equivalent weight of sodium hydroxide.
Sir, what does acidity of base mean, sir?
That is what Nitin I have written in the bracket. So acidity of base in the sense number of replaceable OH minus ions. Right over there, no problem. All of you write neatly. Acidity of base means generally there is a bit of confusion only. So I am telling you now, number of replaceable OH minus ions is also called as acidity of base.
That is replacing instead of OH minus ion, we can add like another element.
Yes.
Sir. Understood.
That is why number of replaceable OH minus is base, number of replaceable H plus ions is acid. That is what.
Yes, can you say the definition of acidity of a base?
Number of replaceable for acidity of base, number of replaceable OH minus ions. Number of replaceable OH minus ions. Number of
Yes, sir.
replaceable OH minus ions.
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is about equivalent weight of sodium hydroxide. Next, can you find equivalent weight for calcium hydroxide? Anybody? Tell me answer after finding equivalent weight of calcium hydroxide. I will give what is the formula for that. So I want to know equivalent weight of calcium hydroxide is equals to
57, sir.
molecular
Sorry,
weight.
sir. No, sir.
40, 42.
74, sir.
Plus 32. Yeah,
7.
Calcium hydroxide is a base, no, sir?
74 by
2.
number of replaceable. I will show you. See here. CaOH taken twice can dissociate into Ca plus 2 plus 2 OH minus ions. This is the dissociation of calcium hydroxide. CaOH taken twice can dissociate Ca plus 2 OH minus ions. So that number of replaceable OH minus are 2. So 74 by 2, which is equals to 30.
37.
37.
37 is the equivalent weight of calcium hydroxide. And the last one for salt, like common salt or inorganic salts, aluminum sulfate, calcium carbonate, ammonium chloride, these kind of salts also you can find equivalent weight. We will see. Aluminum atomic number and mass number, Santosh.
Aluminum is 13, sir.
Very good. Finish, Rama?
Mass number is 26, sir.
Yes, 26.8, 27 you can write.
Yes, sir, 27.
Finish, Rama, this. Then shall we go for salts? Yadu Prakash, complete, Rama?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the last one will go for equivalent weight of salts. Equivalent weight of salts. Can you tell me one salt in our home? Which salt is that? Aluminum sulfate or sodium chloride?
Sodium chloride.
Sodium
common salt.
chloride.
Sodium chloride.
Sodium chloride.
Okay, so formula I will tell you first. After that you can find. How to find out equivalent weight of salt is formula weight of salt. Formula weight by
NaCl3.
total charge on cation or anion. What is that? formula weight by total charge on cation or anion. This is equivalent weight of salt formula. For suppose equivalent weight of NaCl common salt or table salt, I'm taking, tell me formula weight amount. Na 23, chlorine 35.5.
58.5.
58.5 by
Sir?
generally NaCl can dissociate Na plus ion plus Cl minus ion. So what we have to
Sir,
take?
should we always take like this only, sir? Like example, aluminium. Should I take it as aluminium plus Cl minus?
Shall I take aluminum sulfate example or?
This
When
will
I-
finish, sir.
When I take the aluminium chloride, sir.
Abhijit,
Yes, sir.
let me finish this example. After that we'll go for aluminum sulfate. Is it fine? NaCl can dissociate Na plus Cl minus. What we have to see here? How many cations or how many anions? So one cation or one anion you can take. So 58.5 by 1, which is equal to 58.5. So the equivalent weight of sodium chloride is 58.5. Now I'm taking another example. Aluminium sulfate. Aluminium sulfate, here I'm taking example. How to find out equivalent weight for aluminium sulfate? Equivalent weight of aluminium sulfate formula Al2SO4.
Right.
Yes, very good. So find out and tell me. Is equals to formula weight. You find out formula weight amount. Formula weight. Meanwhile, I will tell you aluminum sulfate can dissociate Al2SO4 thrice. Is can dissociate into 2Al plus 3 plus 3SO4 2 minus. This is the general dissociation of salt, aluminum sulfate. Now 2 into 3, 6 cations, 3 into 2, 6 anions. So this is the
Sir,
denominator.
like, how did you write 2Al plus 3, sir? I didn't understand.
Abhijit, this is reaction. I'm not taking anything, Abhijit. I'm not taking anything. See here from the aluminum sulfate. How many aluminiums are there?
2.
What I'm taking here? 2Al.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wait. Charge. I will tell you. Plus, how many sulfates are there?
4.
Sulfates.
3 sulfates, sir.
3, sir.
3 only, right? Taken thrice only. So just I'm taking 3SO4. Generally, maximum aluminium. You know what? Already we have done aluminium group number valency.
Yes, sir.
Right. So here Al plus 3. Plus 3 I'm taking. So
Okay.
each aluminum is general aluminum is plus 3. But how many aluminiums are there? 2 aluminiums are there. 2
Yes, sir.
into 3, 6.
6,
6,
sir.
sir.
Okay, keep it here. Next come to SO4. Generally, H2SO4 if you take Abhijit, H2SO4 if you take 2 H plus ions plus SO4 2 minus ions. So sulfate is having each sulfate is 2 minus. But how
Okay.
many sulfates are there?
1.
Sulfates.
3 sulfates.
2, 6. So therefore 6 cations, 6 anions.
Anions. Okay, sir.
Now come to the formula and write. Tell me molecular weight.
340.
342.
Yes, 341.
42.
42, sir.
344. Sure.
42, sir.
42.
Yes, 42. Check once again. No problem. 342 by tell me, ma. Total charge
36,
on
sir.
cation or anion. 342 by 6. Why 6 is here cations are 6 or anions are 6. So you can take cation or anion because equal number of cations and anions are present in a salt generally. There is no doubt in that. Generally, students are getting confused in this. Generally, every time they're asking, sir, what we have to consider? Whether cations you have to consider or anions. See how many cations you are taking. No, equal number of anions are present in salt. Then only that is called salt. Equal number of cations and anions.
You'll get 57, sir.
57.
So 3 plus 3, 6, sir. over
Yes,
there.
sir, 57.
In aluminum sulfate, sir. So 3 plus 3, there we can take it as 6 because highest is cation. So we take it as 6, sir.
No. 2 into 3, 6 cations. Even 3 into 2, 6 anions. You can take cations or you can take anions also, no problem. See here, in the before example, one plus ion, one minus ion. Any one you can take. Here like that. In the formula itself, total charge on cation or anion. So 2 into 3, 6 plus, or 3 into 2, 6 minus. Any 6 you can take, cations or anions. How much you will get, one?
57.
57 is the equivalent weight of aluminum sulfate. Is it clear, one, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Again, same concept, even same examples also you will get in second year, in 12th.
Sir, can you define actually what is equivalent weight, sir?
What is equivalent weight?
Yes, sir.
See here, nothing. Equivalent weight in the sense, we have to find out n factor. What is that? If you take one compound within, one compound is given, unknown compound. I want to know whether it is acid or base first. If it is acid, number of H plus ions will be there. If it is base, number of OH minus ions are present, right? So what equivalent weight is? The given unknown compound molecular weight we have to write in the numerator. In the denominator, number of H plus ions are number of OH minus. So that is why I given equivalent weight is equals to molecular weight of the compound by n factor. N factor. Why I given n factor? I can give H plus or OH minus, but I am giving n factor. Why? Because I don't know whether the compound is acid or base. I don't know whether the compound is acid or base. If it is acid, you can find number of H plus ions. If it is base, you can check number of OH minus ions.
Sometimes neutral.
If it is salt, what you have to see? If it is salt,
The total charge of cation and anion.
yeah. If it is salt, so you have to check charges.
Charge that is positive, negative, sir.
Yes.
So 3 to
Cation, total charge on the cation or total charge on the anion. So positive or negative. Right, Nitin? So this is equivalent weight concept. Equivalent weight. Now,
that is to find out whether the substance is acidic or neutral or right.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. See, now you will get clear idea. Now we are going for next concentration term, normality. Normality, which is denoted by capital N. We'll see what is normality. We know already molarity, mole fraction, mass percentage. We know now normality. What is normality is? Let me take one beaker. Here I'm taking solution, not a solvent, not solution. Yes.
After this, you will do Koshel-Lewis theory, isn't it, sir?
Nitin?
After this, you will do Koshel-Lewis theory, isn't it, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Koshel-Lewis theory I will get now itself.
This is the last concentration term, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Actually, for board exam in 11th, no need to do all these concentration terms for board exam. For competitive purpose only, we are doing all these concentration terms because anyway in the second year we have to read all these concentration terms in depth. So that is why in first year for board level, we are doing definition and just formula enough, and not even normality and equivalent weight also. But why we are doing all this no for competitive purpose, for NEET exam is there no, for that purpose we are doing. See, normality is here. I'm taking 1 liter of solution. In this 1 liter of solution, listen carefully. In this 1 liter of solution, the number of gram equivalent of solute, the number of gram equivalent weights of solute, the number of gram equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution. So what is normality is, this is one of the concentration term. Normality is one of the concentration term as like molarity, but here in molarity, gram molecular weight, the number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution, correct? The number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called molarity. In normality, not number of moles, but what? Gram equivalent weights. The number of gram equivalents of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called normality. The number of gram equivalent weight of solute, the number of gram equivalent weight of solute, the number of gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called normality. So how to write? Normality is denoted by capital N. N is equals to, tell me, number of
Can
gram
you see
equivalent
again the
weights.
definition, sir? I had
Number
internet
of
break.
gram equivalent weights by volume of solution.
Sir?
Volume,
Sir, can you repeat the definition again, sir? I could not hear it properly. I had some network issue.
okay, sure. Now, what is normality is same like molarity only. You have to assume molarity, what we have discussed previously. But the difference is, in molarity we have taken number of moles of solute present in 1 liter of solution, molarity. Here, not number of moles, gram equivalent weights, the number of gram equivalent weights of solute, the number of gram equivalent weights of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called normality. The number of gram equivalent weight of solute, the number of gram equivalent weight of solute, the number of gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called, the number of gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter of solution is called normality, which is denoted by capital N. So therefore normality capital N is equals to, normality capital N is equals to, tell me, gram equivalent weight by volume of solution. So normality is equals to weight by gram equivalent weight, by gram equivalent weight into 1000 by V in mLs. 1000 by V in mLs. Correct, ma'am? This is what 1000 by V in mLs. 1000 by V in mLs. Next.
Yes, sir.
So from the, what is W by GEW, ma? Solute or solvent?
Salute.
So weight by gram equivalent weight is about solute. This is solute weight by solute gram equivalent weight. Solute. This is solute part. Sometimes they will ask us to find weight of the solute. Like in the last session we have done, how much solute is required to get this much of concentration. Yesterday only, na? How much solute is required to get 0.1 concentration of 200 ml of solution. So in such type of questions, we have to find out weight. Weight is equals to normality into gram equivalent weight by 1000 into V.
Yesterday we did molality.
What Abhijit?
Yesterday we did molality, sir. That you gave some semi-molar, decimolar, molar, this one equation.
That is fine, sir. Molarity also, yesterday I had one problem, molarity. Molarity, how much sodium sulfate, barium sulfate, some component is required to add 1 point. Correct, Nitin?
Yes, sir. To increase to 0.1 molarity.
Yes, correct. Gram equivalent weight by 1000 into V. This is the first. This is to find out the normality. This is to find out the weight of solute. How much weight is solute to required? How much weight of solute is required to prepare some X molar concentration? Right. Next. What are the units? What are the units for normality? Anybody? Units for normality? Anybody can find? Tell me.
Gram per liter.
Units for normality.
Gram per liter, sir.
Units or definition only. Number of gram equivalents. Number of gram equivalent weight of solute present in 1 liter. So gram equivalent per liter or gram equivalent or gram equivalent
Inverse.
gram equivalent liter inverse. Anyone you can write gram equivalent per liter or gram equivalent liter inverse. So how to find out GWMO? We know gram equivalent weight. How to find out gram equivalent weight? How to find out?
Formula weight by
N factor.
Yes.
Molecular weight by N factor, sir.
Molecular, both are same. Formula weight or molecular weight?
That is only, sir. Molecular weight by N factor. That is only equivalent.
Yes, that is only gram equivalent weight formula.
Gram equivalent weight.
Gram equivalent weight formula. Where is this one?
Is this chapter finished, sir?
Okay, I will give after some time questions on this normality. And meanwhile, after this, this is about normality. This is the last concentration term. And once come to Fussell-Lewis theory. What is Fussell-Lewis theory? For regular students, you know very well. New batch students, listen carefully, ma. The next concept is Fussell-Lewis theory, which comes for coming exam. This is also called which theory?
Modern theory or chemical bond theory?
Modern theory or chemical bond theory. Okay, very easy. See, Fussell-Lewis theory explains now here about octet concept, mainly octet concept. For that, valence electrons, how valence electrons are involved in the bond formation. Okay, so generally, this is Fussell-Lewis theory is also called as chemical bond theory or modern theory. Listen carefully, all of you. For suppose I'm taking sodium. Sodium atomic number is 11. And how to write electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. Next I'm taking neon. Neon atomic number 10. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. See here, what is the difference between these two? The first one is 11 atomic number, which is sodium, and the second one is 10 atomic number, which is neon. So here the valency configuration. Valency shell means, just come to here, nucleus. This is nucleus, this is first orbit, and this is second orbit. Like that, number of orbits are present. Here the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a closed circular path. These are called orbits. Okay. So for suppose if you take this is the outermost shell, no? The outermost shell, this is valence shell N. Valence shell means the outermost shell, which is denoted by N. Before one is N minus 1, penultimate shell. Before shell is N minus 2, anti-penultimate shell. So here N is called outermost shell, valence shell. N is called valence shell. This means the last one. The outermost shell is called valence shell. And N minus 1 is the before valence shell, which is penultimate shell. Penultimate shell. Valence shell, penultimate shell. And before one is before penultimate, N minus 2, which is very close to the nucleus. This is anti-penultimate shell. Anti-penultimate shell. So what is that? Valence shell, penultimate shell, anti-penultimate shell. So listen carefully. The new, see, especially for new batch students only, I'm explaining for especially for new batch students only. So here this is nucleus. The positively charged part is nucleus, and these are the orbits. And here this is first orbit, like that. First orbit, second orbit, third orbit. So first orbit, second orbit, and third orbit. Now here, what I'm saying here, general orbits are denoted by small n. Orbits are denoted by small n. So here the valence shell, the last one is called, the last orbit is called valence shell. The last orbit is called valence shell, which is n. The before one is called n minus 1, penultimate. The before one is called n minus 2, anti-penultimate. So here, what we have to check in this configuration sodium, 1s2 means 1 is orbit number, first orbit, 2 is second orbit, and 3 is last orbit. So last orbit having only one electron. The last orbit valence electrons are only one. Come to neon 10, first orbit and second orbit. So here second orbit is the valence orbit, the last one. So how many electrons are there here? 6 plus 2. Here 6, here 2. Total, how many electrons are there? 8 electrons are present in the valence shell, right? So 8 electrons are present. So the outermost energy level, you can say the outermost, which is outermost, second one. The second orbit is outermost orbit in this case, neon. So the outermost energy level in an atom having, generally this is the valence shell. That valence shell is having 8 electrons. So the valence shell is having 8 electrons. So 8 electrons in the sense octet configuration. Octet is, oct is 8, meth, eth, prop, but, pent, hex, hept, oct. Oct means the root word, the name itself 8. So generally where 8 electrons are present in the valence shell, that is stable. So that is why octet configuration is stable. Every element in the modern periodic table is try to attain stable configuration, which is 8 electrons in the valence shell. Every element, how it will be, how it attains? By losing of electrons or by gaining of electrons. For suppose sodium, sodium is 11. Here there are the valence electrons. Here only one is there in the valence shell. So if you take Na plus, how many now? Na plus means 11 minus 1, 10. Na 11, but Na plus by losing of one electron it becomes 10 only. So then you will get nicely 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Now how many valence electrons are there? Now valence electrons 8 only. 6 plus 2 8 only. So this is stable configuration, right? So listen carefully, ma. Don't get confused. Generally, the outermost energy level in an atom is called valence shell. The outermost energy level in an atom is called valence shell, which is denoted by N. And electrons are present in the valence shell. These electrons are called valence electrons. Electrons which are present in the valence shell, these electrons are called valence electrons. Okay. Now here, for suppose some electrons are present not only in the valence shell, before shell also. Innerly there will be electrons are present in n-1, n-2. Those electrons are called inner core electrons. Those are called inner core electrons or inner electrons. Which electron? Those electrons which are present. Those electrons which are present in inner energy levels. Those electrons which are present in inner energy levels are called core electrons. Those are called inner core electrons or core electrons. Core electrons. Okay. Now, generally, an atom must possess 8 electrons in its outermost energy level. For what purpose, Amma? For what purpose it should contain 8 electrons? To get
Stability.
that's all. Enough. So generally what I am saying, again I am repeating, an atom must possess 8 electrons in its outermost orbit to get stability. So 8 electrons is octet. Every element or every atom is try to attain always stable configuration, which is octet. Octet. You should remember 8 electrons should present in the valence shell to get stable configuration. Now here, now I will give examples. See here only, sodium is 11 atomic number. So for 11, valence electrons are only 1. By losing of 1 electron, Na plus atomic number is 10. So here we will get 1s to 2s to 2p6. The valence electrons are 8 electrons. So this is stable octet configuration. Stable octet configuration. Now, yes, Asman.
Can you repeat this again, sir? I got disconnected, sir.
Fine, definitely. So here, generally, this is nucleus and these are orbits. Here, what I am saying now here, what is valence shell and what are valence electrons? First, you should know. Valence shell means outermost shell is called valence shell. What is valence shell, ma? The outermost energy level. The outermost energy level in an atom is called valence shell. The outermost energy level in an atom is called valence shell, which is denoted by N. And the electrons which are present in valence shell, these electrons are called valence electrons. These electrons are called valence electrons. Clear? Now, generally the electrons are present innerly. Not only in the valence electron, the electrons are present in the inner energy levels also. Electrons are present inner energy levels also. These electrons are called core electrons. Which electron? Core electrons are which electrons? Those electrons which are present in inner energy levels. Electrons which are present in inner energy levels are called core electrons. Very good. Every atom, generally almost an atom must possess 8 electrons. An atom must possess 8 electrons in its valence shell. So an atom must possess 8 electrons in its outermost shell or valence shell. For what purpose? To get stability. How? By losing of electrons or by gaining of electrons? Shall I give an example here? Cl, atomic number
70.
1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Is it stable configuration or not?
No, sir.
Why? Because what we have to check? Valence electrons. Which is valence shell? Outermost shell. This is valence shell. How many electrons are there? 5 plus 2, 7 only.
7.
This is not octet, right? So here by gaining 1 electron, here by taking 1 electron. 1 electron is 1 minus charge only. What you will get? 17 plus 1, 18. by taking one electron. So here we will get 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s2, 3p6.
6.
So now check once valence electrons. Here this is valence shell.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so 8 electrons. Before here 7 electrons only. 7 electrons is unstable, but 8 electrons is stable. So that is why an atom must possess 8 electrons in its outermost orbit to get stability by losing of electrons or by gaining of electrons.
Gaining of electrons.
Right. So by losing of electrons or by gaining of electron, an atom must possess 8 electrons. 8 electrons to get stability. So this is what now the main concept will start. These valence electrons are involving in the bond formation. Generally, these valence electrons are involving in the bond formation. So we'll see what are the Lewis dot structures. Lewis dot structures one by one. I will explain. Just see here, all of you. The first one is. Let me take an example. Carbon I'm taking. Carbon group number. How many valence electrons are for carbon?
12.
Carbon.
4.
Valence electrons I'm asking.
4, sir. 4.
4. 4.
4. So C2H4 example I'm taking. C2H4 example I'm taking. And now tell me, each carbon you take for those new students. If you don't know how to find out valence electrons, no problem. Just you take carbon, write the atomic number and write the electronic configuration. You will get. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p.
Sir, that day you said carbon, like it donates every electron. It will not have any electron. It's in its outermost shell, no, sir. So how will it be stable?
Which one? Which one? What you are asking once again? Once again, ask one. How it is stable?
I had a doubt, like for this, like how that carbon will share bond, no, sir. And you said that it donates every electron, and it will not have in outermost shell. It will not have electron, no, sir. So that time, like how will it be stable, sir?
Sir, Raju Prakash, bond formation in the sense here we are having 100 types of bond formations. Hydrogen bond formation, ionic bond formation, covalent bond formation, coordinate bond formation, sigma bond formation, pi bond formation. You know, see, bond formation is different. How valency electrons are involving, like here, Lewis dot structures. I'm not taking any different bonds, just here. I want to explain the representation. Lewis dot structures. Not donating of electrons, not accepting of electrons. Not donating, not accepting. Raju Prakash, it's not donating, it's not about donating and accepting. Just here, what I want to explain here, carbon, how many valence electrons? Hydrogen, how many valence electrons? How those four hydrogens are directly combined with carbons. What is the Lewis dot structure presentation? That is what I want to show. So what you are asking, that is previously, that is ionic bonds on C2,
Yes,
C2H3 or something, C2H4 or C2H6, something asked. So that is ionic bond, covalent bond concept. That is here completely Lewis dot structures. Here we are doing Lewis dot structures. See here, now carbon 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Correct? So here how many valence electrons? 4 valence electrons, right? 4 valence electrons. See, generally some students will get confused. Sir, what about this one? So this is, what is the number? Number 1, but these two are number 2. So this is first orbit. This is first orbit, and these two are belongs to second orbit. So these two are comes under valence electrons, valence shells. So that is why, to be more specific, I'm telling you, so we have to consider only valence electrons. Only valence electrons. There is no confusion. Now listen carefully. Carbon, valence electrons are 4. Valence electrons are 4. Hydrogen. Hydrogen. Only 1. So what is which one? 1s1. So how many hydrogens are there? 4 hydrogens are there. 4 hydrogens are there. Okay. Just let me explain the first example properly. Okay. Now see here, carbon. I'm writing here carbon. How many valence electrons? 4, right? So here I will show you 4 electrons surrounded by carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 electron belongs to carbon. That 2 valence electrons. Yadu Prakash. These
Yes, sir.
electrons are valence electrons. Okay. And another carbon I'm taking here. This is another carbon. Another carbon is also having 4 electrons only. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Very clear. So each carbon is having 4 valence electrons. Each carbon is having 4 valence electrons. Next, what about these hydrogens? So you have to take hydrogens. Now here I'm taking one hydrogen. Hydrogen having 1 electron, right? Hydrogen having only 1 electron. So each hydrogen having 1 valence electron. So this is electron of hydrogen. This is electron of hydrogen. Next here I'm taking another hydrogen. Total 4 hydrogens you are supposed to take, no? And here I'm taking one more hydrogen. Here one more hydrogen I'm taking. So each hydrogen is having 1 electron. So each hydrogen is having 1 electron. Now what we have to understand from this, where is octet? Where is octet? See here. First here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct? Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And come to this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just a presentation amount. Nothing we are doing. Lewis dot structures. Next what happens here? 1 electron of hydrogen, 1 electron of carbon, right? So these two are combined, so there is a formation of a bond. Next, 1 electron of hydrogen, 1 electron of carbon, these two are combined together, there is a formation of a bond. Now here same like this, 1 hydrogen, 1 electron of hydrogen, 1 electron of carbon, there is a formation of a bond between carbon and hydrogen. So as a result of this, you will get one structure. What is the shape of this, see here how it will be. Carbon, between carbon and carbon, how many electrons are there? Check properly, meanwhile.
4, sir.
4. So one bond means how many electrons in chemistry?
2.
2.
Correct? Now see here, listen carefully. Here 1 electron of carbon, 1 electron of another carbon, 1 electron of first carbon, another electron of second carbon. So there is a formation of bond between 2 carbons. How many bonds are possible? 2 bonds are possible. No, see here, carbon. So here see here 2 electrons between 2 carbons. Here there is a formation of 1 bond. Here there is a formation of 1 bond. Right. Now here 1 electron of carbon, 1 electron of hydrogen. There is a formation of bond between carbon and hydrogen. There is a formation of bond between carbon and hydrogen. So like this you will get. This is C2H4 Lewis dot structures. These are called Lewis structures. Now here what we have to observe now, whether 8 electrons are there or not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 electrons here. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here also 8 electrons. Yes, we can ask. Now you can ask.
Sir, this is ethene.
C2H4. Ethene.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Isn't it, sir?
Ene. Correct one.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, alkene derivative. And I'm giving another example. find N2 molecule. Nitrogen atomic number is 7.
Sir, triple bond will be formed, sir.
Huh?
Triple bond will be formed, sir.
Yeah. The representation is important. Structures are important, Pawan. Got the structure also neatly.
Yes, sir.
First, you take nitrogen, and you have to mention how many valence electrons are there. Each nitrogen mostly will get 5. Correct? 3 plus 2 5. So like that, here also this is for another nitrogen. So here also 5. So generally there will be 8 electrons. How to find? You will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Correct, Pawan?
Yes, sir.
So there is a bond between 2 electrons, 2 electrons. So there is a formation of N. There is a triple bond is formed between 2 hydrogens, and here there are electrons are there. So as these electrons are waiting. Next example, finished all this. Find out for C2H2 ethylene. Complete or not? Next example, C2H2. Next example, CH4 methane. Khalil, what happened, Khalil?
Nothing, sir.
Write Lewis dot structures for these compounds.
Should we copy this Lewis structures?
You have to find, you have to write the structures.
Yes, sir.
Meanwhile, anyway, we'll explain slowly. Just you try yourself. C2, each carbon is having 4 electrons. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they have given 2 hydrogens. This is the electron is a hydrogen electron. Here I'm taking hydrogen. Now,
Sir, what we should find, sir?
No, not nothing. Just you have to write the Lewis dot structure. Nothing you have to find. Just tell me how many bonds are present and what is the structure, Lewis dot structure. See what I am writing here. Carbon valence electrons are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Each carbon is having 1, 2, 3, 4 electrons, valence electrons. And hydrogen is one hydrogen is 1 electron. So here 2 hydrogens is given. So here 1 hydrogen, 1 electron. Here 1 hydrogen, 1 electron. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double bond or triple bond? Am I here?
Triple bond.
Triple bond, sir.
And one electron of hydrogen, 1 electron of carbon. There is a bond formation. Here also. C2H2 ethylene or acetylene. Very good. Next, methane molecule. Four valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Carbon, 4 valence electrons. Hydrogens. Here 1 hydrogen. Here 1 hydrogen. Here 1 hydrogen. And here 1 hydrogen. So there is a bond between this is what you get.
CH4 is methane, no sir?
Methane, correct. This is acetylene or
That is, yes, sir.
ethine.
Ethylene. Ethylene.
Ethine.
Yes, sir. Ethine.
Alkyne.
Yes, alkane derivative.
Yes, sir.
Find
NH.
out the name.
CNH.
Two lone pairs will be there, sir, for ammonia.
Yes, lone pairs are there.
Pairs to water and barium chloride.
And I will send few questions also. I will try yourself today. Finished, huh? 7. Within Lewis dot structures.
Yes, sir.
Got NH3,
Yes, sir.
H2O. How many lone pairs in H2O? Oxygen atom.
2.
Yes.
Finish, sir.
Very good. Yadu Prakash.
Sir,
Yeah, in ammonia molecule on the central atom nitrogen, how many lone pairs are there?
how many bonds, sir?
Lone pairs I'm asking.
One, sir, like one.
Correct, correct, very good. On water molecule, oxygen having how many lone pairs?
Oxygen also one, sir.
No.
4 lone electrons, 2 lone pairs.
See, this is what, right? This is what you are supposed to get. 2 lone pairs, 2 bond pairs. 2 lone pair of electrons. Two lone pairs, Prakash.
This only I got, sir. I don't understand it.
Sir, for NH3, sir.
For NH3, ma? Nitrogen directly, 3 hydrogens are connected. 3 hydrogens are directly bonded with nitrogen, and there is a 1 lone pair of electron. 1 pair, ma. Don't get confused. 1 pair, nothing but 2 electrons. 1 pair.
Sir, I have another doubt.
Yes, Abhishek.
Just lone pair,
Like this
sir.
structure also you can do for C2H2, no, sir?
C2H2, no?
Yes, sir. Like this also, like this, but like what you did for NH3, that same type you can do for C2H2 also, no, sir?
How come? Is there any lone pair on the carbon?
Sir?
Is there any lone pair
No, sir.
on the carbon atom?
No, sir.
Abhijit, I got it. What you are asking, I got it. See, nitrogen belongs to 15th group element, Abhijit. Nitrogen belongs to 15th group element, and the valency electrons are 5. Nitrogen should containing 5 electrons, 5 bonds. So 3 are directly bonded, 1, 2, 3, and remaining 2 are present as a lone pair. But carbon belongs to 14th group. Carbon belongs to 14th group. Carbon valency is to how many valency? Carbon valency is 4. Only 4 electrons can surrounded by the carbon. So already carbon having C 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is lone pair? There is no chance.
Yes, sir.
But nitrogen there is a chance, because total 5 valency is 5 for nitrogen, belongs to 15th group and having capacity 5 electrons. So 5 electrons can surrounded by the nitrogen. In that 5, 3 are participating in the bond formation. 2 are present as a lone pair on the central atom.
So the last one is BCl.
BCl3. BCl3. Boron belongs to which group?
Fifth, sir.
Is there any lone pair? No,
Yes,
lone
sir.
pair.
No, sir.
Lone pair is there.
No, sir.
No. Directly, 3 bonds are 3 electrons are involving in the bond formation. Right? BCl3. This is what. So 3 electrons are involving in the bond formation. There is no lone pair of electrons. Complete, Rama?
Yes, sir.
Now here I am giving some questions. Take it as a homework. All of you try yourself. Take screenshot, or better, what is the possibility you can take this? Can you take screenshots? Is it possible with those who are using PC?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now you can take. Now, and today you practice these questions, and once go through the previous concepts also, and get ready for the coming exam. Easy only.
Okay, sir.
Okay, ma, that's all for now. Better practice all the concepts, especially some basic concepts of chemistry. You have to focus, all of you, because from Monday onwards, anyway, complete revision only. Especially new batch students. For new batch students, from Monday onwards, again we are starting the revision program. So for regular batch students also, nicely you can utilize properly. So all of you practice properly for exam. Okay, thank you. Thank you, one and all. You can leave.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Yes, sir.
Bye, sir.
Okay. Bye bye.